Hello, my name is Caleb Smith with the Rocket Miner newspaper, here to provide your coronavirus update for May 21st, 2020. Let's start with a familiar place with the numbers, shall we? The Wyoming Department of Health, as of this recording, is reporting that statewide there are 608 confirmed cases of the coronavirus in Wyoming. That includes 17 in Sweetwater County. When it comes to probable cases, the total sits at 193, and that includes 8 in Sweetwater County. Recoveries, we're now up to 546, including 21 in Sweetwater County. When it comes to the death count, that does require some updating because a Washakie County resident who was previously identified as one of the lab-confirmed cases has died, as reported by the Wyoming Department of Health. That now means that we are at 12 deaths in the state of Wyoming. According to the press release from the state, the older man was a resident of Worland and lived in the Worland Healthcare and Rehabilitation Center. That's a long-term care facility that had previously been recognized for having had a COVID-19 outbreak. Testing so far has identified 5 cases amongst the facility staff and 6 cases amongst residents. This is why, while the instances in the state remains low, we're thankful that our numbers remain the envy of many, many other places, both around the United States and the world. We still have to be cautious. It's still out there. It's still active. Expanding our view just a little bit, when it comes to the United States, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are reporting 1,551,095 cases, which is 22,860 new cases compared to yesterday. When it comes to total deaths in the United States, that number is now at 93,061 people, which is 1,397 people more than yesterday. Johns Hopkins University reports that the global tally is now at 5,097,944. The death count sits at 332,876 people. And recoveries is at 1,946,312. Looking forward to us surpassing the 2 million recovery mark soon. And other local news, there have been a handful of activities for graduating seniors, members of the class of 2020, that even though we can't do all of the big slam bang, get everybody crammed into a tight space activities like we've may have taken for granted. I know I certainly have. Can't speak for you. Maybe you were always thankful for it. But now that it's gone away, it's something that is missed, and we're looking forward to when we can return to. But I am continually impressed with the creativity and the spirit of the people who still want to come up with ways to just herald and revel in these local laudable accomplishments. Farson-Eden High School had their parade last night. I attended it, and while a community that size, the parade is short, doesn't mean that there wasn't lots of fun to be had. There were some very entertaining floats, and even more entertaining denizens, and some of the entries. After looping around, the seniors had designated parking spots at the Eden Valley Community Center, Farson Community Center as most of us know it by, where it was interesting that after having driven through a little bit and having people stop and waved at them, there were a lot of cases where they were parked and stationary, and people were driving through and just handing off cards, signs. Still lots more honking. On the side, there were a few fireworks being let off. Those are hard to get a picture of. I got one that's decent if you would want to look at the slideshow at rocketminer.com, or we've also posted links to it on our social media. In addition to, there was some people on the ground trying to negotiate what's that safe distance, what's that level of contact that you're comfortable with. I don't think I saw a face that wasn't smiling. It reminds us of the stuff that's extra important that we have in hand. And hopefully, hopefully you won't be like me and you won't be taking certain things for granted. Maybe going forward you'll be a little more thankful for these opportunities. One other story I want to point your attention to came from Green River Animal Control today. We're always looking for stories to highlight the good and the bad. And sometimes there's a story that goes, this is definitely something we want to put into our rundown. Green River Animal Control is celebrating the fact that after about a month, it was able to reunite a pit bull named a pit bull named Blue with his owner who lives in Oklahoma. Apparently, Blue had wandered into town, gotten picked up, and there's a number of days that they wait before knowing that it'd be that you have a window to reclaim your pet if they've gotten loose. And they received a call on that 5th day about a person who they'd stopped about 6 miles out of town, and Blue had wandered off, and the owner, he was just broken up by the fact that he wasn't able to find his pit bull and had to leave and go back to Oklahoma. And he was also wrestling with the fact that due to issues with the coronavirus and some financial issues, he wasn't able to immediately return to Sweetwater County to pick up Blue. Having animal control took care of the pup. There's some pictures online that you can tell that's a good, happy dog that they had. But after being worried that they could get him, and working with others to try to find transport and getting him close, but still not all the way to his home in Oklahoma, Lydia Holmes, a member of Animal Control and a rescue staff member, finally got on a mission to help close that connection. And Animal Control received word that on May 19th, he was home with his dad, and they're, quote, both very happy. This is one of those cases where trying to describe the look on an animal's face when it's reunited with someone that's truly special to them, or just seeing, honestly, a family reunited. Some of our family members are hairier than others. Their family nonetheless. If you have the time, I'd strongly encourage you to go to rocketminer.com or look for the story on social media, because I'm just even tearing up just slightly thinking about it. It's nice that it's not just nice that we have stories like this, it's important to highlight stories like this. It's important that we look for the good and the bad. And I was having a conversation earlier this week where there are some days where you do have to look a little bit harder to find some of the good stories. There are some media outlets, there's some places where we get our stories that it's concentrating in one area, and it's tempting because there are big stakes involved, there are big personalities involved, there's so many stories wrapped up with the craziness that we're incorporating into our daily lives. But let's also remember the bright points. If we can't also talk about the things that make you smile too, the things that remind you how blessed we are to have a community like this, how blessed we are to have these people around us, and remind us why it's a burden to take on some of these extra distancing or hand washing, face mask, all this extra stuff. It is asking more of us, but it's neighbors like this, it's people like this, it's friends and family. That's why we're doing all this. Like I said, if you have the chance, take a look. Pull up those pictures of Blue, the pit bull. There are dozens and dozens and dozens, more than 3 dozen. That's not hyperbole. There are 39 pictures in that photo package. At rocketminer.com from the Farson-Eden parade. There's a video too. It's short. And because it's Wyoming, there's a lot of wind in there. You don't need it. It's not like I really provided much of a commentary other than here we are, it's the parade, and they're starting early. As a side note, it's entertaining and a lot of fun to cover a parade, trying to pick out a spot where they're going by, and depending on what the event is, try to negotiate so you can be at another point of the parade. Considering the excitement of the people involved, the excitement both spectators and those on the floats, and those in their vehicles, and then kind of the reversal of that, it was totally worth it. I commend the people of the Eden Valley for putting it all together, Farson-Eden, and all the out county folk who, whether it's donating balloons, donating a flatbed, donating their time. Good job. That was cool. Similar kudos out there from when I saw the pictures of the Expedition Academy, similar festivities that were also recently conducted. I'm sorry I can't be in 2 places at a time. My cat would like that better. He'd get more attention. On that strange, bizarre thought, this is Caleb Smith with the Rocket Miner newspaper, wishing you a good day and a safe tomorrow.